A lot of the controversy about this subject comes from this idea of co-governance, and Labor got very tied up in that. What does co-governance mean to you?
Partnership. We've had partnership
Here's the thing,
on the Waikato River
sure.
Since 2010. 2010 has been in existence under what we call the Waikato River Authority, where there are equal number of iwi and equal number of Crown representatives, and it's worked well.
How far should that go? Because some people look at this as a maths equation and go, well, 17% of the population Māori roughly, yet should there be?
Yeah, but half the original contract, 50-50 in the contract, half the original agreement. In fact, when the agreement was signed, we're the majority.
50-50 representation on some issues.
Here's the problem.
How far does that go for you?
Yeah, well, here's the problem that we have in terms of history. In our iwi, 1.3 million acres were taken, rendering our iwi landless. Is there any justice to that? Built on the back of that disposition of the theft of our lands, is that in our region here and now, nearly 30% of this country's GDP comes out of Mairohe. 75% of the water that comes into Auckland comes out of the Waikato and its associated the water bodies. And yet Waikato Tānu has been a mere spectator as successive councils and government have degraded the river to the extent that the river itself is a degraded body of water where we can't even take food or swim in it, safe from Ngaruawai all the way down to the port. Now you talk about justice. You talk about this 15% of the total population is absolute nonsense. I'm talking about justice here, and the injustice, the jagged edge of injustice has treated my people badly, and we've been on the wrong side of history. And so when we cut deals and we are smart enough to get these negotiations around co-governance and partnership, we should actually be applauded for taking a much more innovative approach, because in the last 100 years, we've watched councils degrade our water.
All right. You've called this our rangiriri moment, a time...
That's the last conversation we'll leave out. So, I remember, I think it was Moana Tūwhare when she came on one day talking to us about co-governance and said that we've got it upside down at the moment, because we think about co-governance as non-Māori in positions of power inviting Māori to the table, whereas co-governance based on the treaty was actually Māori saying to non-Māori, you can come to our table. So actually the document was signed and the agreement of this land was Māori offering co-governance to non-Māori. And just because, again, back to the contractual agreement, just because now non-Māori are the majority, you don't get to flip. You don't get to flip the script all of a sudden and say, oh, that contract we signed? We're just going to do it the other way now. And another one, just hearing Tuku talk about what they've given up and what they've had taken and what, still no shared ownership of these things. I just think it's a really interesting perspective. Chewy.
Yeah, look, we've mentioned this before, and I think it was a clip that we played. What's good for Māori is good for all of us, and I think there is nothing more clear than that, than the state of our rivers, the state of our natural environment. The European-centric way of doing things that we have had in this country for over 100 years has got us to this point where we have artificially fertilized the land, we have grazed it, we have burned our forests down, we have ruined our water table with nitrates, we have ruined our water quality to the point where it becomes an election issue that you can't swim in a river like we used to be able to when I was a kid. Those systems that we have built and a version of capitalism that we have has cost us all of those things. And I think that is the big driver behind my support for a lot of what Māori are asking for here, is that Europeans had their shot. This is what it's got us here. Where is the harm in trying a different way? when we talk about European supremacy or white supremacy or that sort of thing, it is the assumption that the way that we have done things and the way that we have structured this country is the best way to do it. And I think there is so much evidence out there that it's not. And if you know that it's not, and you know that it's not working, but you keep doing it, then that's on you.
Mm.
My whole thing is the people that were here, the people that signed that document and said, hey, look, king, queen, whatever, fucking pull your people into line. Here's the agreement. Then they get a say. And people talk about it's not democratic. What? Like, it's still democratic. People still vote. The people don't change. People will make their feelings heard. But at the moment, what we have is we have too many voices shouting down Māori, saying that there's not enough of you, that your opinions don't matter, that you're not European, you just wouldn't understand how superior we are and how superior the way that we do things is. It's just beyond you.